The people in attendance have been here since around 7 o'clock, some earlier. So it's been a very, very long night. It's going on to 7 hours now of the people standing in here waiting to see Hillary Clinton, waiting to hear whether she's going to be giving a victory speech or concession speech. Certainly at this point it looks more and more like it is going to be a concession speech. All right, so I hear that you can hear me, we can hear you, so we're going to continue talking here. As you can see, we're inside the Javits Center in New York City. This is Hillary Clinton's campaign headquarters. If you look around, the large stage right to my left is where Hillary Clinton may or may not give a concession speech tonight. If the trend continues, it certainly looks like she is going to lose her bid for the presidential race. If you're just joining us, you can see there's a large screen above that's been showing news reports pretty much since the get-go, since the first polls closed in Virginia and elsewhere at 7 o'clock tonight. At this point, that was about 6 hours ago. There's something noteworthy if you look around at the construction of this auditorium. It's made almost entirely of glass. There was a reference Hillary Clinton made 8 years ago to breaking the highest glass ceiling by winning a major party's nomination. Of course, she didn't do that running against Barack Obama in 2008. She did do that this time around, winning the Democratic nomination, but now it's looking increasingly likely that she's not going to win the presidency. We're going to try walking back over here to where there are still some Hillary Clinton supporters. The crowd has thinned out a bit, but there's still a fair number of folks waiting, hopefully to see Hillary Clinton give a speech, whether it's a victory speech or a concession speech. It's certainly looking more and more tonight like it's going to be a concession speech, which runs counter to the way a lot of poll projections were. I think she entered into this evening as a slight favorite to win the presidency. I know her campaign said they were cautiously optimistic about victory. John Podesta, senior advisor, when he walked into this arena, told one BBC colleague that he felt good, but would have to wait to see how the results would come in. Well, the results are coming in, and it's looking increasingly like Hillary Clinton is not going to be able to pull over that magic 270 vote mark that will put her into the White House, mostly on the back of poorer performance than expected in the Midwest. All right, let me see if I can pull up some of your questions here. Give me a moment here as I pull up my phone, and then maybe I'll try. Would you mind talking to me a little bit about with the BBC about how you feel on this night? Can you tell me your name?
Sure. My name is Brett, Brette, McSweeney, MCSWEENEY.
All right, I imagine you've been talking to a fair number of reporters hanging here along the fence line. How has it been handling what seems to be an increasingly long shot chance that Hillary Clinton will win tonight?
You know, I think about the women who went to vote today, and all the people who went to vote, but especially the women who went to vote today. They were born before they had the right to vote in America, before the 19th Amendment passed. And especially women of color, who even when the 19th Amendment passed, they didn't have the right to vote for many years afterwards. And I think about the opportunity that Hillary gave them by running for office, by running a smart, tough campaign, by hanging in there all these years. She gave all of these people an opportunity to make an amazing statement that a woman can run for office and run for the highest office in the land. And it's not over yet. There's still states out there to be called.
Right. Barack Obama sent a message earlier tonight saying the sun will rise in the morning. Life will go on. I mean, how would you get your head around a Trump presidency?
I think I would follow the lead of our current president. The sun will rise in 5 hours, and the beat goes on, and the life goes on, right? The mission, the work that we all were here today to do continues, and we have to find a way to work together, and that's just how democracy crumbles.
Are you going to stick around until Hillary Clinton comes on the stage, if she does come on tonight?
I'm not quite sure. I have a job to get to at some point.
Yeah, it is now after 1 o'clock here on the East Coast, and it is a work night, a weeknight. So what were you thinking when you came here tonight? How were you feeling?
I think I would, certainly like everyone here, you come to an election night party or rally for your candidate because you know how hard you've worked and how hard they've worked, and you're ready to celebrate.
All right, well, thanks so much for chatting with me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, let's get to some of the questions and comments from the people watching this Facebook Live right now. Nikki says that she feels so ashamed. Simi says, totally shocked. Boris asks, how much is she losing by? Well, she's actually winning the popular vote right now, but that doesn't really matter in the United States. What matters is how you do in the Electoral College, how you do in this state-by-state slog, and each state has a certain electoral value, and winning those states, even by the barest of majorities, gives you the votes towards the magic 270 number in the Electoral College. And right now, Donald Trump is ahead in the electoral vote. He's probably just one or two states shy of going over that magic 270 mark. If he wins Michigan, if he wins Pennsylvania, if he wins Arizona, that should be enough to put him over the top. None of those states have been called yet, but it appears he's ahead in all of them. So right now it's looking very, very likely that unless there's some sort of major reversal of fortune, he's going to end up at some point tonight or by dawn tomorrow called as the next president of the United States. Let's see what else we have here. Patrick says, what kind of legal repercussions will Hillary face? Well, Donald Trump, during one of the debates, saying that if he was president, Hillary Clinton would go to jail. Now, the president doesn't have that kind of authority. Conceivably, he could use the Justice Department, which would be helmed by an attorney general that he appoints to conduct a more rigorous, more aggressive investigation into Hillary Clinton. Conceivably, that could include charges being brought against her if they decide that's the case. Now, the FBI, there were some members of the FBI who seemed to want something like that, so this Clinton or Trump presidency could end up leading to something like that. But that's pure speculation at this point. We don't know what Donald Trump will do when he takes the Oval Office, if he does win tonight. See what else we have here. The updated numbers. Okay, so Clinton has 215 electoral votes. Trump has 244 electoral votes. 42 states so far have been called. That leaves 8 states outstanding, including the aforementioned Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, New Hampshire. Those are states that Hillary Clinton pretty much needs to put in her column, all of them, in order to win the presidency. There's still some scenarios where if she wins Arizona and loses Michigan, if she wins New Hampshire but wins a few electoral votes here and there, it might end up in a tie. But right now we're talking about the best case scenarios for Hillary Clinton. It's a very, very narrow path, and like I said, she's also trailing in most of these states. So her votes would have to come in what may be unexpected places at this point. John says, are Americans worried about the impression this election will have on them? I certainly think that may be a sentiment embraced by many of the people in this building. Certainly a sentiment I've seen expressed by liberals on social media, but there's a lot of people that voted for Donald Trump, and I think they think that Donald Trump will present a stronger face for America, that he's going to make America win again, as he said many times. They believe in Donald Trump, and they turned out in massive numbers, particularly in this Midwestern states, in places that had often been overlooked by people along the coast, the East Coast elite, people who didn't live in big cities, but the rural vote, the working class white vote, turned out in massive numbers. Helen says, Obama said the sun will come up another day, but it won't shine so brightly. Well, I think Obama said the sun will come up, but I think a lot of people here would say that it may not shine so brightly. They're certainly going to have a hard time wrapping their heads around the outcome of this election. I think even Democrats, when they were asked, Democrat officials when they asked, said they hadn't even made contingency plans for a Trump presidency because such an outcome was so inconceivable. And that's one of the things we have to take into consideration here. The Democratic Party is going to be broken after this election. There's no clear leadership within the party. They lost many down-ballot races. The Republicans are going to control the Senate. They're going to control the House. So you've got to imagine that Obamacare, one of his lasting legacies, is going to be drastically changed under the Republican administration. a lot of Republican priorities that have been on the shelf for a very long time because Obama has been in the White House for 8 years are now going to start becoming law. So it's going to be a very different look to America after Donald Trump takes office, if he does win. Sebastian says, this is so disappointing, our supporters leaving. Let's take a look around here. We'll show you what this crowd looks like right now. I think some supporters have filtered out, but there's still a fair number of folks packed here. A lot of them are sitting down at this point. But you know, the people who are here, the people who have come to New York and have stood in line and gotten tickets and worked their way into the Clinton campaign headquarters, I think they're here for the long haul. They are not fair weather fans who will leave, even though it looks like the going is getting tough for their candidate. Let's see, Heather says, I'm from Alabama and I'm crushed about this. I think that is a sentiment that will be expressed by many Democrats across the nation. It's going to be a very bitter pill for a lot of Americans to swallow, and if the popular vote holds up, there will actually be more voters who voted for Hillary Clinton than for Donald Trump. But that's, as I said before, that's not what matters. It matters who wins the Electoral College, and right now Donald Trump has the upper hand. Well, I think that should just about wrap it up for us here on Facebook in Clinton Campaign Headquarters. This, once again, is Anthony Zurcher. I've been covering this election for about a year and 11 months, and it's been a long road, but it's finally coming to an end. I encourage everyone to watch the BBC News' live blog, which will continue to be covering the outcome of this race, not only reaction here in the U.S. and states across the country, but around the world, because this is a rather major development. Donald Trump elected to the presidency. If the results hold up, that would be a fairly remarkable change that runs counter to a lot of predictions going into tonight. So thank you so much, and everyone have a good night, and I'm sure we'll talk again later.
Spanish dominant, got spray painted.